What if I told you that all your ADHD money chaos could be wrangled with just one spreadsheet? Not 17 apps, not color-coded binders, not a shame-inducing budget plan that feels like Gandalf is yelling, "You shall not spend," every time you walk into Target. No, just one spreadsheet. One spreadsheet to rule them all. One spreadsheet to bind them. I'm just kidding. I love The Lord of the Rings. I read those books when I was maybe 10 years old the first time. Hey friends, welcome back to A Solo Person's Guide to ADHD. I'm Christine Dunning, Master Certified Life Coach and the owner of Two Cats Coaching, and your friendly neighborhood reminder that budgeting is not, in fact, a medieval torture device. Before we dive in, quick disclaimer, I'm not a financial professional, just a fellow person with ADHD who used to think my credit card limit was, a suggestion. What I share here comes from a lived experience, trial and error. Let me start with some real talk. I used to be a financial hot mess. Like, I wish the debt collection agency would stop calling me level hot mess. I didn't know how to keep track of my bills or get them paid on time. My ex-husband used to call it bill roulette because paying it all was simply not possible. Bills slipped through the cracks, overdraft fees piled up, and my credit score was in the basement. The turning point for me, really two things happened. First, I got a job that only paid me once a month. I'll tell you, that was a hard shock at first. But once I got used to it, it was actually a godsend because the money would come in and I would just have to pay it all out. Luckily, I also had a second job that paid me twice a month, and so I could kind of eke through until that halfway mark when I could pay for groceries and gas again. The second thing that happened is when banking and bill paying moved online. Now, for some of you, you're like, what is she talking about? What do you mean it wasn't always online? Well, it wasn't. And for me, the difference was huge. Paying bills by themselves had like 7 steps when you had to do it all on paper. From getting the paper bill in the mail, finding and then writing my check, and then posting it with appropriate postage actually inside the mailbox. Not just, in my car, thinking I'll remember to drop it in a mailbox. But once that happened, I digitized everything into simply one spreadsheet. I'll show you mine in just a minute. And it's just one place to see it all. And then everything shifted. My credit score climbed. I stopped missing bills. And honestly, my stress went way down. So that's why I live by my golden rule of money management: fewer steps. The fewer steps between me and done, the more likely I am to actually stick with it. And that's really the heart of ADHD-friendly budgeting. So what is a budget? It's not a punishment. It's not a diet for your wallet. It's not a jail cell. A budget is simply a system that makes sure your money ends up where it should and when it should. It's a tool to make sure that future you isn't broke and bitter and hungry and rideless. It's a roadmap that gives you some choices and hopefully not chaos. Think of it less like a straitjacket and more like GPS. You can always reroute, but you know where you're headed. Our ADHD brains tend to rebel against traditional budgets, forgetting to pay the bills until they're already late. A lot of issues with impulse spending. I'm sure I don't need to elaborate there. Time blindness and avoidance. I'll deal with it later, which often means never. And so if you felt like budgeting systems are just designed to make you feel bad, They're just not always designed for brains like ours. One of the first steps is keep it simple. Instead of 47 little categories that you'll never keep track of and update, go with just a few. Your fixed expenses, rent, phone, internet, insurance. As many of those as you can, put them on auto pay. That way you don't have to think about it. And then your variable expenses. Groceries, eating out, random shiny objects. Trickier to track, but you can still do it. Broad, forgiving categories. You're more likely to stick with them. Here's my other ADHD hack. If you're only going to pay bills once a month, which really works for me, simply pick a budget day. Mine's the last business day of the month because by then all my money has come in. I sit down, I pay the bills, I update my sheet, I kind of do a quick look over everything. Done. Takes me less than an hour. So I'm going to pull up my actual spreadsheet here. One spreadsheet with all the repeating bills. I have a pretty good idea for me how much income I need to have every month to hit these targets. My personal income actually has some flexibility in it because I cobbled together a living doing 3 different things. So if you look here, you'll see I've got the kind of income it is, mortgage, HOA, internet, phone bill, different credit cards, student loans, a couple of different health things. I'm paying off some old health debts, and insurance. Then I have the names, and then I would have the amounts that I owe on monthly on those bills. If it's variable, like electricity, it's going to be around the same amount. You can make it the same amount, but I don't mind having mine be a little variable. I put that there. And then how I'm going to pay it. And I post in the website link right. So when it's time, all I do is click on the link, takes me right to the website, log in, pay the amount. Personally, I keep a running total on just a piece of paper. And I take the amount that I have available to pay for bills, and I just start subtracting. Unfortunately, I am dealing right now with some credit card debt, and so I'm trying to pay all my current expenses plus a little extra towards the overall debt. I'll talk about how I do that in another episode. And so I leave these for last because I put as much money towards them as I can afford. Over here, I also make sure I keep track of the interest rate for anything that has an interest rate on it. Carryover so that I know my overall bills on that. So again, the first amount is how much is generally owed, and then this amount, because there can be some flexibility in some of these, is the amount I actually paid. So that's my system. But don't force yourself into a system you'll hate. I think there's basically 4 systems that work well for people with ADHD. One is the one I've just shown you. Simply have a Google Sheet. It's everywhere on every device, easy to access, and it gives you those links. You can, of course, keep track on paper if you are happy with paper. I think paper can be hard for people with ADHD. It's certainly very hard for me, but if you love it, go for it. There's a lot of evidence for people who like to do a cash method. You really actually cash out the amount of money you have. That's great if you need actual physical tactical limits. It's especially good for your variable spending. This much is available for eating out. This much is available for groceries, etc. If you really want to do an app, the one that I have seen lots of people talk about is YNAB, or You Need a Budget. It's really, really ADHD friendly. There is some cost to that, but it's a cost that I think you would get a lot of use out of. I don't think it's terribly expensive. So friend, your mission, if you choose to accept it, try your own 30-day budget experiment. Start simple. Keep it friendly for your ADHD brain. And if you want a little help, I'm going to put a free tracking page that I've got waiting for you on my website. It's going to look a lot like the spreadsheet I just showed you. Thanks for hanging out with me today on A Solo Person's Guide to ADHD. If you liked today's episode, please hit subscribe so you don't miss any future money, mindset, and ADHD hacks. And remember, your budget isn't a ball and chain. It's a leash for your money, so it, doesn't run away in the dog park. By the way, if you're looking for a real live coach to help you through these or other kinds of ADHD issues, hit me up. You can schedule a free 30-minute appointment with me via my website, and we'll see if we're a good match. I'll see you next time. Until then, keep it simple, keep it doable, and keep it ADHD friendly for it to work for you. Have a great day.